Hi everyone, just thought I'd do a quick video on using my Universal Apollo Firewire. I guess it's applicable if you've got like an 8P or something similar, so one of the rack units, and using it as a sort of reamp device, recab device, or even an amp switcher using the console. So what I've got here is I picked line 2 here, so one of the high Z inputs. So I'm taking my guitar straight into there. You'll see, well, before I explain what I'm doing, what I've then got is like sort of input output 3. I take a cable out of the back of out number 3 that goes to the front of my Marshall JVM. At the back of the JVM there is an XLR DI, which then comes back to the input of line 3. I do exactly the same on line 4 to my Hughes & Kettner Tube Meister, and that's in silent running mode. Number 7, I've got a Victory V40, so guitar cable at the back of line out number 7 into the front of the V40. That doesn't have a load box or can do silent running, so the speaker cable comes out the back of V40 into a 2 notes torpedo Captor. I then got the line out of the Captor back into line in number 7 on this fader, and then number 8 I've got a 2 notes torpedo cab, so I'd go out of line 8 into the 2 notes torpedo cab, out of 2 notes torpedo cab back into line 8 in. Probably need a diagram, but I hope you got that bit. What I can then do is go, right, okay, I'm going to plug my guitar into sort of my guitar in input. I can then choose which amp I'm going to use. So I go, right, okay, I want to hear my Marshall. So I'll press line 3. I want it to go through my Hughes & Kettner. Well, line 4. And then obviously that comes back in to here. If I then wanted to hear some cabinet simulator on that as well, let's pick, so I'm going to go line 7, so out of my Victory, so it goes in here, out of there into number 7, the send number 7, out of number 7 through the V40 back into number 7. I can then go, well, actually, being that there's no cabinet emulation on there, what I'm going to do is send that to line 8, and line 8 goes into my 2 notes torpedo cab, which will have some cabinet simulation on, and then I'll actually hear that. That then actually lets me do some other cool stuff. So being that you've then got plugins here, I could say, well, actually I want my delay after my amp, or I actually want my delay before my amp, so I could do kind of cool stuff with that. So that's kind of like my guitar switcher, amp switcher. So I've got 3 amps to choose from. It gets really interesting when you launch some your DAW, your recording software. So I've done this with Pro Tools, and I've also got it open with Reaper area, just as an example. So I've got 3 tracks here. I can say, right, okay, my first track is going to be my guitar in. So that's going to record just an electric guitar sounding pretty naff, because obviously there's no amp, there's no cab simulation, no nothing. So that would be that track. My next track, I would record my Victory, for example. So that would record the sound off the back of the Victory, but with no speaker simulation. And then this one, I could record the signal after it's gone through the Victory and then through the 2 notes torpedo cab. So I've got 3 tracks. So this would be kind of like my final track, and you probably wouldn't do anything with that other than EQ it or whatever. This track, I could then go, well, you know what, I wasn't actually happy with the cabinet I used. I could then put the 2 notes plug-in on here and pick a different cabinet, and then that would be my V40 with a different cab, and change it till I'm happy. Or I could actually use a send and send it through the physical device and re-record that on a different track. And then the same thing applies with the raw guitar. So the raw guitar, I could then send that to Native Instruments, what's it called, Guitar Rig, and do it all in software. I could send that through one of the, so out of a send, and then send it through one of the other amplifiers that I've got, the physical ones, and record that onto a separate track here. And then once I've recorded that as a separate track, I could then choose to send that through the cab. So that gives me so much sort of flexibility in terms of I can reamp using physical amps, I can reamp using plugins, I can recab, all by recording those 3 tracks. So I hope that was useful. I've certainly, since I've had this the last sort of 4 days, have found it, you know, it helps the creative process because I can switch between amps really quickly without having to, you know, redo cables and this, that and the other. I can, you know, record that raw guitar part and go, oh, actually, I wonder what it would sound like through the H&K or the Marshall, change the channels on my Marshall. It's, yeah, it's, I'm not going to say it's life-changing. It's a game changer, definitely. Saves a lot of time. So thank you for watching. Hope it was useful, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.